Alright, guys, if you guys like scary movies, honestly, there's not one better than this. I've watched a lot of scary movies. It's one of my favorite genres. I like watching Aliens. I like watching Predator. I like watching like the Freddy movies. The Jason movies are okay. I love the horror genre. Anything to make me scared. Shut the lights off, have some soda, have some popcorn, and just be scared. It's fun to be scared. But this movie, it kind of rates up there along. It's really really good. Um, when I first got my DVD player, we went to Walmart and my wife said I could pick out any movie, and this was the movie that I chose. And I can honestly say I wasn't disappointed at all. And it stars Matthew Lillard, Shannon Elizabeth, and a couple of other people. The guy that played the bad guy in Star Trek Insurrection, he's in this movie, which that's not really giving him much credit because he was in Star Trek Insurrection, but that movie was terrible. But they all do a really good job in this movie. Basically, the story goes the guy that plays Monk on the show Monk, he inherits the house, and it's kind of like a glass house. And inside, on each of the like glass walls and everything, there's like these it's like transcribed with like these letters, like letters of the dead. And you can't see that unless you have these specific glasses on. And I know that it was made in reference to something. I'm not really sure what it was in reference to. So I went into the movie just with kind of a clear, no expectations, just sitting back and enjoying it. The highlight for me, the acting was really good, but the highlight for me, honestly, was each one of the ghosts. You had the uh, Juggernaut, which is kind of this big powerhouse type guy. There's a scene where he's kind of walking slow motion down the hall. I think it was to Matthew Lillard's character, but that was one of the just him walking. His presence was just creepy, and it just gives you hairs on the back of your neck. It's really just freaky. And then there's the Jock, which was okay, I guess. I didn't really care for him as much. There's this other guy that has like this spike through his head, and that like again the makeup on all this stuff was really good. Like the actors sold the makeup really really well. This is something that in the genre today we've kind of lost with like CGI and stuff. But when you look at this movie, like the practical effects are really really good. They stand top notch. There is the cheerleader, and she like the thing that was weird about her was like she was completely naked, and so from the aspect of seeing like a beautiful naked woman, like you're like yes, but then you sit there and you look at her and you see how like how dead she is. Like she looks really fucked up, and there's even like a slash through her nipple. And so from one side you're kind of like, oh, I'm kind of turned on, and then the other side you're like, oh, this is really weird. Like this is fucked up. So it kind of plays with your expectations and that mentality, of what to expect, and just I don't know, like it. I had never seen something like just disturbing like that before. Like I'd seen a lot of grotesque stuff, but the thing that this movie did right was it didn't do like tons of killing, all throughout the movie, but like just everything that it did, it was just really disturbing. So that was like the funnest thing for me was to see these little things that you're just like, wow, this is really interesting. I don't know if I would have appreciated it as much in theaters, but the good thing that I liked about this movie was the special features that are on it. And I'll buy a DVD or a Blu-ray if it has a lot of special features on it. In fact, that's why I bought my Blu-ray player. Like I'm pretty cheap. I don't like to buy a lot of stuff, but I bought a Blu-ray player just because like they kind of stopped making special special stuff, behind the scenes stuff, on DVDs now, and it's more the Blu-ray. Like you get tons of that. So like I went out and bought a Blu-ray just for that, just for the behind the scenes stuff on DVD, on the movies. But this was the first time that I had seen this on a DVD. I didn't even know that stuff really was on there. I just thought it was the movie, like VHS. But the special features on this, it was really awesome because what it does, and maybe this is probably the reason why I get into this type of stuff, is it had like bios of each one of the ghosts. and like they went in depth. It's about probably anywhere from like 5 to 10 minutes per each ghost. So it's not a long time, but you got an hour to kill. Watching the behind the scenes stuff on the ghosts. And it shows like it flips through like pages of a book, and then it goes to the life of the ghost, and you kind of see clips of their life and clips of the death and everything. Like it's really just it pays so much respect to each one of these characters. So then when I went back to watch this movie, like I had that much of a better appreciation for each ghost because I knew their backstory. And to me that was really interesting. Anytime you get more backstory on a character and then you go back and rewatch the movie, you just appreciate. Like it's just such a rich character driven movie, and the ghosts really are their own characters. They're not just, oh well, we got to have, point A kill point B. It's none of that stuff, and they really feel fully fleshed out, which they were. So I really appreciated that. The highlight of the film, honestly, besides all the ghosts and the rich characters, I would honestly say it would have to be one ghost in particular, called the Jackal. That just the character, like laughing and screaming and running down the hall, like it really, the only thing that I could compare that to would probably be like Heath Ledger's Joker. Like when I see the Jackal, like it really reminds me of like, well, if the Joker died in the Nolan universe, it probably would be the Jackal. It kind of sounds familiar too, but um or similar, but like honestly, like it's such a creepy it's such a creepy fucked up character that like you can't get your eyes can't leave the screen. You're just focused fully on that character. Um, but all of the ghosts, honestly, like everything about this movie was really good. From the plot to the characters, even the characters that you don't really get to know, like the nurse, not nursemaid, the lady that helps the monk, the monk guy, um, helps Monk with his kids. She even feels kind of like it feels like a character that you know, or you could probably probably within your friends radius, you probably know someone like her. Same with all the characters, and even Matthew Lillard's character, like he's such a funny character. There's one scene in particular, and every time I see it, it just cracks me up. He's trying to explain to Matthew Lillard's trying to explain to the people. He's like, ghosts. There's ghosts in the basement. Come on, we got to get out of here, guys. There's ghosts here. And Monk looks at him and he's like, goats? And Matthew Lillard yells, he's like, ghosts! God damn it, ghosts! Like, why would I give a shit if there were goats in the basement? Like, every time I see that part, I just crack up because it's such a stupid moment. But it's funny, and yet it's pretty, it's pretty on par with what a lot of people would be like, because no one would be like ghosts, they'd be like goats. It's just a really funny moment, and this movie's chock full of clever moments like that. It's one of those movies where you can watch it over and over again. You won't really get bored of it. If you haven't watched it with a friend, or if you're on a first date or something, like this would probably be a good movie. You're having a date over at your house or a couple of friends. This would probably be a good movie to pop in and just fucking watch. It's a good movie. You won't be disappointed. It's really all I can say. Good laughs, good thrills, good scares. It's just all around good movie. So I'd recommend it. And yeah, I don't know. I watched it. I wasn't disappointed. So, but all right, guys. Let me know what your thoughts are. Let me know what your favorite scary movie is. So keep on geeking on, guys.